Back in 1895, a man named William G. Morgan wanted to create a new game. He worked at the Young Men's Christian Association, or YMCA, in Holyoke, Massachusetts, where he was an instructor. Morgan noticed that basketball, which was pretty new at the time, was super popular. But, he felt that basketball was just a bit too rough for some of the older men at the YMCA. He wanted something less intense, a sport that people of all ages could enjoy, without a lot of running or physical contact. His goal was to make a game that was fun and athletic, but not as strenuous as basketball. So Morgan got creative. He borrowed the net from tennis. He thought about the use of hands from handball. He even looked at a German game called Faustball. He wanted his game to be played indoors, which was perfect for the cold winter months in New England. Morgan raised the tennis net to a height of 6 feet and 6 inches, just above the average man's head. The idea was simple. Players on two teams would hit a ball back and forth over this high net. At first they tried using the inside part of a basketball, called the bladder, but it was too light and slow. It just didn't fly through the air very well. Then, they tried a full basketball, but that was too heavy and big, and it hurt the players' hands and arms when they tried to hit it. So, Morgan asked a company named A.G. Spalding and Brothers to make a special ball just for his game. They came up with a new ball that was smaller than a basketball but larger than a handball, and it had a soft leather cover, making it perfect for hitting over the net. The new game needed a name, and at first Morgan called it Mintonette. In 1896, he showed the game to other YMCA directors at a conference, explained the rules, and had two teams play a demonstration match. During the game, a professor named Alfred Halstead noticed how the players would volley the ball back and forth over the net. He suggested a new name, saying volleyball would be a better description of the action. Morgan liked the idea, and the new name stuck. Volleyball was born. Volleyball quickly became popular within the YMCA network all across the United States. The YMCA was the perfect place for a new sport to grow. Facilities in towns and cities everywhere. YMCA instructors like William G. Morgan shared the game with colleagues and taught new rules. The game was easy to learn and didn't require a lot of expensive equipment, just a ball and a net, so it was really accessible for a lot of people. Men's groups, youth programs, and community gatherings. The sport's growth was helped by its inclusion in official YMCA publications. The rules of volleyball were printed and sent to YMCAs everywhere, which meant that teams in different cities could play by the same set of rules. This kind of standardization was super important because it allowed for organized play and competition between different YMCA branches. By the early 1900s, volleyball was no longer just a game played in one town in Massachusetts. It was becoming a recognized American sport. People enjoyed its cooperative nature and liked that it focused on teamwork rather than individual strength. During World War I, volleyball's popularity grew even more. The United States military needed sports to keep soldiers active and entertained, especially games that could be played in camps and on military bases. Volleyball was a perfect choice, helping to build morale and encourage teamwork among the troops. The American Expeditionary Forces even brought volleyballs and nets with them to Europe, teaching the game to Allied soldiers from other countries. For many people outside the United States, this was the first time they'd ever seen or played volleyball. After the war, soldiers returned home and brought their love for volleyball with them. The sport started to be played in schools and colleges, and the National Collegiate Athletic Association, or NCAA, recognized it as a sport, giving it more credibility and structure. By the 1920s, national tournaments were being organized in the United States, and teams from different regions could actually compete against each other. The game was no longer just a casual pastime, it was becoming a serious competitive sport, with a growing number of dedicated players and fans all across the nation. The spread of volleyball around the world happened really fast. Since the YMCA was a global organization, YMCA workers traveled to other countries and brought the game of volleyball with them. They introduced it in places like Canada, Asia, South America, and in many of those places it was an instant hit. In Asia, the Philippines and Japan took to the game early on. They started to develop their own unique playing styles and techniques. The Philippines made a super important contribution to the game. In 1916, they invented a new way to hit the ball. They called it the bomba, meaning bomb, a powerful downward hit that was tough to return. Today we know this move as the spike. This move totally changed volleyball, making it more exciting and athletic. It turned volleyball from a simple back and forth into a dynamic contest of power and strategy. The spike became fundamental worldwide. During and after World War II, American soldiers helped spread volleyball by playing it on bases in Europe and Asia, and teaching it to local populations. This introduced the sport to a new generation in many countries. After the war, international sports organizations formed to promote friendship and competition. Volleyball was perfect for that, already played in many parts of the world. For any sport, being included in the Olympic Games is the highest honor. It means the sport has achieved true global recognition. The leaders of the FIVB worked really hard for many years. They promoted volleyball to the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, showing how popular volleyball was all over the world. They organized successful international tournaments like the World Championships to prove the sport was ready for the Olympics. Their dedication was absolutely essential in convincing the IOC. Then, in 1957, the big moment finally came. The IOC announced that volleyball would be an official Olympic sport. The first Olympic volleyball tournament was scheduled for the 1964 Summer Games in Tokyo, Japan. This was incredible news for volleyball players and fans everywhere. It was recognition of the sport's long journey, from a small YMCA gym to the world's biggest sporting event. The announcement created a whole new level of excitement. Countries all over the world began investing more in their national volleyball programs. They wanted to build strong teams to compete for Olympic gold. The 1964 Tokyo Olympics were historic, 10 men's teams and 6 women's teams. The Soviet Union won the gold medal in the men's tournament. The host nation, Japan, won the gold medal in the women's tournament. The Japanese women's team became especially famous. Their victory made them national heroes. The Olympic debut was a huge success. Over the years, the rules of volleyball have changed to make the game more exciting for both players and spectators. Early rules were very simple, but as the sport became more competitive, new rules were needed. One of the biggest changes was the introduction of the rally scoring system. In the old system, a team could only score a point if they were serving, which, honestly, could make games very long and unpredictable. With rally scoring, a point is awarded on every single play, regardless of which team served. This made the game faster and more intense. Rally scoring versus side-out scoring, how points are awarded. The libero is a special defensive player who wears a different colored jersey so everyone can identify them. This player is an expert at passing and digging the ball. They can substitute in and out of the back row freely, without counting against the team's regular substitution limits. This rule was introduced in 1998 by the FIVB. It allowed smaller, quicker players to have a major role on the team, plus, it led to longer, more exciting rallies, because the defense became much stronger. Technology has also played a big part in changing the game. The invention of new materials led to better volleyballs. Modern balls are designed to be more consistent and easier to control. They have special panel designs that help them fly through the air more predictably. While indoor volleyball was growing in gyms and arenas, a new version of the sport was emerging on the beaches of California. Gyms, arenas, and the beaches of California. In the 1920s, people started playing casual games of volleyball on the sand. It was a fun way to enjoy the sunny weather and stay active. At first, these were just friendly games with 6 players on each side, just like the indoor version. However, players soon discovered that it was much harder to move and jump in the deep sand. This led to a natural change in the game. The most important development in beach volleyball was reducing the number of players. Instead of 6 players, teams were made up of just 2 people. This 2-on-2 format completely changed the sport. Each player had to cover a much larger area of the court. This required incredible athleticism, skill, and teamwork. Players had to be able to do everything: serve, pass, set, attack, and block. There were no specialized positions like in the indoor game. This made beach volleyball a unique and challenging sport in its own right. Great players are essential to the growth of any sport. They inspire people to play and watch the game. In volleyball, there have been many legendary players who changed the sport. One of the first global superstars was Karch Kiraly from the United States. He is widely considered the greatest volleyball player of all time. He was incredibly versatile and successful. He won Olympic gold with the U.S. men's national team in 1984 and 1988. He then switched to beach volleyball, dominated the Pro Tour, and won Olympic gold in Atlanta in 1996, the only player to win Olympic gold in both indoor and beach volleyball. On the women's side, Regla Torres from Cuba became a legend as a powerful middle blocker. She helped lead Cuba to Olympic gold in 1992, 1996, and 2000 and was named Best Female Player of the 20th Century by the FIVB in 2001. More recently, Giba from Brazil became an icon, leading Brazil to Olympic gold in 2004 and multiple world championships. Zhu Ting from China became a global star, leading China to Olympic gold in 2016 and becoming one of the most prominent players in the modern game. These stars helped volleyball's popularity grow in the 21st century. Their skill, intelligence, and relentless work ethic set new standards. They became global ambassadors and inspired generations. Legends create memories that push the sport forward. Volleyball is more than just a game. Passing, setting, spiking, it has created a unique and positive culture around the world. A key part of this culture is teamwork. No single player can do everything alone. You must rely on your teammates for every single point. You need a good pass to get a good set. You need a good set to get a good attack. This constant cooperation teaches life lessons about communication, trust, and working together towards a common goal. This spirit of teamwork is a big reason why people love the sport. The game is very competitive, but there's a tradition of respect between opponents. Volleyball culture is inclusive. People of all ages, sizes, and abilities can play. There are versions for athletes with disabilities like sitting volleyball, a popular Paralympic sport. Today, volleyball is one of the most popular sports on the planet. The FIVB estimates that hundreds of millions of people play the game regularly. It is played in almost every country in the world. Its journey from a simple idea in a small American town to a global phenomenon is an amazing story. The game is exciting to play and to watch, filled with powerful spikes, incredible defensive digs, and strategic blocks. The action is fast-paced, and the momentum can shift at any moment. Whether you are playing on a top professional team or just having fun with friends at a picnic, the game requires communication and cooperation. It builds bonds between people. This exposure inspires new generations to pick up a volleyball and start playing, and that is why it will continue to be loved for many years to come.